These are the top mistakes I see men making when trying to find their purpose. My clients have gone from completely confused, dazed, lost, swimming in a sea of uncertainty to actually landing on something that they feel aligned with, connected with, and can actually focus forward on. By the end of this video, I hope you will be able to land on exactly which mistake you have been making when finding your purpose and how to fix it. The first mistake I see men making is using their partner as their purpose. And the reason why this is a huge mistake is because, especially females, don't want the pressure of being everything validating for the man. He will see her as a problem to fix or want to fix all of her problems. And this is because he needs that solution as his validation for him being masculine enough, for him being man enough. Men are often taught in society that their love is conditional by all that they can solve. So they use their partner as leverage to validate how masculine they are. So usually he molds himself to fit her needs and becomes everything she wants simply because he needs that validation. And she doesn't want this, okay? Women want stability, reassurance, comfort. A woman wants her man to challenge her, not cave into every whim, because it shows that you have your own personality when you stick up for yourself, when you set boundaries, when you say no. And I know a lot of men out there might be watching this going, well, you don't know my woman, or last time I did that, I got scolded or yelled at or punished. So, just a digression, you have to think about the partner that you've matched with while you're in an unhealthy state. If you are in an unhealthy state, chances are you're going to match with a partner who just supports your incapabilities. Okay. So the second that, of course, you start to be healthier, that you start to change the rules of the container, the dynamics of the container, that person's obviously not going to like it because you're no longer supporting their limitations and liabilities. Okay. So if a woman is guiding the entire ship, why would she need her man? She feels too much power in the relationship and therefore too much pressure to uphold its need to be perfect. So, moving on to the next tip, and that is doing what you should do instead of what you feel guided to, instead of what you feel compelled to do. Now, we've all been stuck in the trap of feeling like the path has already been laid out for us, especially men. They have a very specific path that they are told they need to do. They need to go to school, they need to find a nice wife, but they need to be financially secure first so they can take care of the family. And so, what happens is instead of finding a career that they actually really love, they just go towards what's stable enough, what makes the most money, and they spend all this time doing something that they don't really like. And so, unfortunately, many men follow it to a T, and then they are denied their own self expression. They don't tap into their creativity. They feel like they're pushed into hard labor jobs or just making money as opposed to having any source of enjoyment. And that really robs them of feeling like they have any kind of purpose unless they go back to point one. And that's why I think a lot of men do make their partner and their families their purpose, because it makes taking on a job that they don't like worth it. It makes taking on a role in life that they didn't want, have meaning or have reason. But really, at the end of the day, those things aren't enough. And then they end up in the divorce pool and they question everything around 45 years old. And that's where I talk to a lot of men about where to go next, about this purpose conversation. So, this whole video, I hope, is going to drive you to kind of avoid that. And if you want to learn more about this, just to quickly, you can go to my website and I have a couple master classes that are free that you can tap into on the 4 pillars of men's mental health. I have Year of the Man Summit where I have different creators talking about things that have benefited them for men. And I have female coaches on there as well teaching things. So just quickly, if you wanted more in depth, you can go there. But now we're going to go on to the next tip, which is thinking that the family will give them purpose. And I know we touched on this briefly in the last point. But while loving and having a family can give us a great sense of purpose, there's a difference between feeling like it's your calling in life and then creating a family because you think it will give you a purpose and meaning. And the goal is to find a purpose driven by you, not dependent on outside factors, because then your sense of direction won't be solid. And what do I mean by that? I mean, a lot of us make our happiness and our purpose and our joy dependent on the external factors. So, how much money we have, where the economy's at, how our partner is feeling that day. And so, we're leaving our internal world up to the stability of the external world, which is always changing, which is always unpredictable. You cannot, no matter how much you try to control something, you cannot control anything besides yourself. So when you put your purpose on your family, you put your purpose on your spouse, you're really leaving it up to, it's like saying, I'm going to put all of my eggs in what the weatherman says the weather is going to be today. The weather can change at any moment, no matter how many tools we have, no matter how accurate the instruments get. The weather still dictates the weather, not the weatherman. So you need to really tune into your own sense of well-being. And even though family might give you a purpose, even though it might give you a sense of happiness and fulfillment, that still has to be an external motivator that ignites the internal motivator of your own purpose. And the next tip that I have for finding your purpose, or another mistake I see men make when finding their purpose, is chasing purpose as something to find as opposed to a way of being. And this is huge. When you stop trying to find a purpose and search for a purpose, and instead just embody purpose and kind of uncover the purpose from within you, a huge realization many of my clients have is that purpose isn't the job or the title. And then suddenly that makes them feel fulfilled. It's living on purpose, no matter what you're doing. It's a state of being and not a destination. So you never arrive at your purpose. You start to put purpose into everything that you do when you really embody what it means to live life on purpose, to be purposeful. And so whatever that is for you, you're going to feel creative about it. You're going to feel inspired by it. You're not going to feel drained by it. You're not going to feel like my life is meh. You're going to really feel driven. And also, it can change. So I will talk about that in a different video, kind of the key ways to know that you're on track with your purpose. So be on the lookout for that. Subscribe to the channel, and any ideas that you might have that you want to see for a YouTube video, please put them in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.